Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in the lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, and we have a really exciting show planned for you all today on the Prime Real Estate Network. I want to invite everyone that's checking us out live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to get involved in today's show. Leave myself and the Texas Real Estate King a relevant real estate question, and you never know. Your question may very well be answered on today's episode, man. So let's get involved, man. Let's share, like, subscribe to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube, because this is the place you come to for your no-nonsense real estate takes and real estate education. I want to take a little bit of time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him for sitting in with us this week, live from the Brooks and Davis Education and Training Center. I'd like to introduce to our audience, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on?
Yo, nothing much, Rick, man. Just another beautiful day in H-Time. Back at it, getting the podcast, episode 263. You know, we moving through them like we veterans, man, bringing on amazing guests and just keeping the show going.
Hey, man, first things first, man, it's always great to have you here in the city of Houston at the Brooks and Davis Education and Training Center. I see you draped in the latest Brooks and Davis merchandise.
Definitely.
Which is super fresh, man. I appreciate you for sitting in, man. So since last episode, what's been going on in the world of the Texas Real Estate King?
Not much, man. I want to give a shout out to Georgia Real Estate. For those that don't know, you and myself are both licensed in Georgia as well. So if you are in the Georgia area and you need some real estate services, we can definitely tap in with you on that. But also give a shout out to a couple of my buddies, man. We ended up going to Atlanta, Georgia this past weekend to celebrate my brother Ken Williams' birthday, man. So that was a good time. So shout out to all of the guys and everybody, man. We really just had a chance to do some bonding, man. Those kind of experiences that you need to take in from time to time, as well as having an opportunity just to see some of the mega growth that's taking place in that Atlanta, Georgia area.
Hey, look, man, it's amazing. Hey, of course, big, huge shout out to all the friends and family we got in Atlanta, man. And then for whatever reason, we in birthday season. It just seemed like every week there's a member of the Prime Real Estate Network family or the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm family that's celebrating birthdays. So I want to give a huge birthday shout out to Miss Deja Davis. She coming up on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So, been celebrating her birthday for 2 weeks leading up, but we're going to get it going, man. So big, huge shout out to her and everybody there as far as the fam. And, man, today's episode, Larry, is super duper cool because this is one of those episodes where we really bringing in like real fam for the interview.
Yeah.
And, every week we give you an opportunity to share a little bit about our background and history and past with the guests that we have. So for our audience, could you share a little bit about how we were formally introduced and how far we go back with today's guest?
Yeah, man. Today's guest, man, we've known her, man, over 20 years. You get to doing that math, and that math start math, and you're like, wow,
No
that
doubt.
many years, man, like over 20 years, man. And so had an opportunity to meet it through one of the beautiful brothers of Mu Sigma, our brother Jeff Guidry,
No doubt.
fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, Stephen F. Austin University, and he introduced us to his beautiful sister many, many years ago. And we were honored enough for her to share her brother with us for all of these years. And so today, man, she's in the same industry we're in. She's taking it over, her and her team and her organization, man. And so I just had to have her on the show. It's time, baby. It's time to bring family on this thing.
Hey, look, man, big, huge shout out as well, because, we've always have a close personal tie to not only our guest this week, but like you mentioned, Mr. Jeff Guidry and the entire Guidry family. So big, huge shout out to them on the show. I want to thank her so much.
Thanks.
And without any further ado, let's introduce this week's guest. This week's guest is not only one of the more successful real estate professionals here in the greater Houston area. She's a prime real estate rock star realtor with Peters Properties. We want to thank her again for sitting in on the show, and I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Miss Joyclyn Guidry. There she is.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Y'all, thanks for inviting me on the show. Y'all getting me out of my comfort zone, so I'm excited to be here today.
That's right. Come on.
Thank you so much for sitting in with us, Joy. And it's really funny because we have opportunity to interview you. But like Larry said, we've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
But it's really cool for our audience to get to know you in this capacity.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So for the members of our audience that are meeting you for the first time, Joy, could you please introduce yourself and talk to our audience a little bit about Peters Properties and your real estate practice?
Sure. So hello, everyone. Again, I'm Joyclyn Guidry, realtor with Peters Properties, and excited to be here. My brokerage is an all-ladies brokerage that we're pretty proud of, with over 30 years of experience with all of us combined. Last year, we brought home over $5 million in revenue. So we're doing really good for a small brokerage company. We're making waves and doing big things. And we pride ourselves on our personalized real estate services to our clients, and just making them make sure that they're finding the keys to their home and being very committed in empowering them along the way, giving them all the nuggets that they need, educating them while they're going through the process. So we are really excited to be here, and I'm excited to be here representing the brokerage today. A little bit about me. I've been doing real estate now going on 3 years. So still a newbie, but I've been trying to take it by storm, and just trying to get buyers to just understand the process in real estate.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much for sitting in. And the reason why Larry and I were so excited about the interview is because you and I have had the opportunity to carry some real estate conversations offline. And one of the things that we see eye to eye on is how important it is in real time today in 2024 to talk to those potential home buyers out there and let them know how right now, since it's a buyer's market, why they should take advantage of all of the incentives and seller concessions and all the generous programs that are out there to help those first timers move into their first home. So, Joy, from your standpoint and the Peters Properties team standpoint, can you talk to our audience a little bit about why right now is the optimal time to take advantage of today's buyer's market?
Yeah, so right now is a great time because one, it's a demand for homes are out there.
Yep.
The homes, the inventory is there. I mean, sellers are ready to get their inventories off of their books. So they're wanting to give incentives, buy down interest rates, all kind of things that beforehand we weren't seeing because they knew that it was a seller's market at that time. So a lot of times that when we get our potential buyers and those that are on the cusp of wanting to do it or not. It's basically just letting them understand the process and what, how they're looking right now in the whole scheme of the process of buying a home. And so I just think that waiting for the magic number to come about, you'll be waiting forever because you don't really know when that magic number will be. I always say, buy the house, date the rate. So,
Hey, I like that. That's right.
so yeah, marry the house, date the rate, because you just never know. And that dream house that you're looking at, and you're waiting for that perfect number to happen, it's gonna get somebody else is gonna come and swoop it up from under you, and that house may never come back for you. So we always encourage our buyers that are ready to take, don't hesitate and just bite the bullet. Just bite the bullet.
The thing that is so interesting about your advice, and I urge everyone in the audience to heed it, is because you talk about how much new home inventory is out there in the market. Could you just talk about the type of incentives that you've seen? Because Mr. Brooks and I myself have seen 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, as much as a $30,000 buyer incentive. Could you talk
Yeah.
to our audience about what is a buyer's incentive and how that truly adds to a first-time buyer's buying power in this market?
Absolutely. The buyers are looking for those handouts, right? So if I pay for this, what am I going to get? So a lot of the builders are buying down your interest rate, which in the long run helps with your mortgage, putting money down towards your closing costs. A lot of people are skeptical because they don't have the money for the closing costs, but these builders are paying your closing costs. Then they're going to throw in some blinds, some wash and dryers, things that really cost money. When I was buying, I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just wanting the house, right? I'm just looking for the house. But the incentives that came with it, I was like, oh wow, and I can get this, and blinds cost money. So anything that helps you with that cost cut is what the sellers are doing it. They're also willing to buy down your interest rates. So all of these types of things are amazing incentives for our buyers that we just heed everybody to kind of jump on, because beforehand they were not offering these types of incentives.
And a lot of these things really do tie into someone sitting down with a professional like yourself and getting an outlook, getting an understanding of what their buying power really is. Because if you don't know, you don't know. But so you really have to sit down with a professional and not have to guess this thing out, or have to, or depend on your Aunt Sue that about 5-10 years ago that maybe had didn't have the type of experience that you need to get. So definitely sitting down with a professional like yourself really gives them the opportunity to understand how to scale, as well as how to maybe even stack some of these grant programs that are offered out there as well with some of the builders, because some of them do allow you to stack programs. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And again, new home buyer programs are out there. It's so many things. And I just had someone come to me today. They weren't represented, and they were like, I'm just at a loss. I don't know what to do. It's so many options and so many things thrown my way. What do I do? And so a realtor is someone that's going to help you decipher all these things that's coming your way. Fire hydrant, you can't drink it all. So we're here to help navigate that process for you.
One of the great things, and I thank you so much for your transparency as far as talking to us about your real estate practice and a little bit about your background. You mentioned that you've been an active realtor here in the Houston area for more than 3 years now. Could you share with our audience a little bit about your life before real estate, what you did before becoming a business owner, and what were some of the things that motivated you to make the transition?
Yeah, so in corporate world, I'm in corporate and single mom of 3, and just trying to, do it all and not have the time of the day to do it or whatever. I talked to Larry a long time ago. I don't even know if my son was born yet. And he told me the classes and stuff, because I've always had interest in real estate, but I always like my time. I don't have time. And COVID gave us a whole bunch of time. It gave us a whole bunch of time to sit, and I'm not a person to just sit and do nothing. It's idle mind is what they say. Idle mind is the devil's play.
Idle mind, idle hand is the devil's workshop.
Yeah,
right?
and I'm just not someone to just sit around, and so I am always trying to show my kids to do things to better yourself. And one of the things was, I was like, real estate is going to be my retirement. This is what I'm going to do to keep myself busy. Okay. And now that I'm in it, I'm like, I love it. It's a servitude that if you are a service oriented person and you want to be a help to someone, this is right up my alley. I love it. I love helping people find that home, find that property, find that land or whatever. It's something that I love doing. It's almost like finding Waldo in the picture, right? finding that property or that special place for my clients. So I just love it, and I end up making lifelong friends with my clients, checking on them. It's one of the things that I pride myself about my service is I am very, I'm a Christian woman, so I'm always ready to, whatever my clients need, if they need a prayer or, just a calming spirit, I try to be that. And I'm pretty high strung, but with my clients, I'm pretty level headed, because I want them to know that they're in great hands, and we're going to see it through. You're going to find it, because y'all know the process of buying a home. It can get real crazy. So I like to be that calm for my clients. So when I started during COVID, it was just, the right time for me, because it gave me the time to really understand what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. And I just utilized that time during COVID to just make it happen.
Yeah, I commend you for it too, right? Because the thing is I believe anybody that wanted to have a change or wanted more, COVID was a reset for everyone. Yep. It gave you an opportunity to pause whatever else was. Well, it paused life for you, period. And then it gave you an opportunity to evaluate and take the steps to move forward in things that you may have been procrastinating on and playing with. And so I just commend you for moving forward with that. And like you said, when we're dealing with clients, we're probably dealing with one of the largest purchases that they'll ever make in their lives. And it's life-changing for them, right? Because these people take these homes, refinance them to send their kids to college one day, refinance them to start their own small business one day. So we do play a pertinent role in the way that someone's life will move from the day that they purchase their first home or reinvest that money into new properties and things like that. So again, I commend you just for being a rock star.
Thank you. Yeah, I like to say that I like to start stuff and finish it. I don't like to start and stop and don't finish and see it through. If I take the time to put in the work, the dedication, I'm going to see that thing through. So that's what I did.
Yeah. And Joy, I want to ask you, because when we're talking to potential homeowners, especially new homeowners, we always try to gauge if they're ready, willing, and able. You mentioned earlier that you're a single mom yourself. So for all those mothers that may be there that are willing and able, but aren't quite sure if they're ready, do you have a message for them to show them the benefits of home ownership and how it's going to not only change their life, but their family's life in the future?
Yeah, so I was that single mom that was like, I'm never gonna buy a home. I just don't want the financial responsibility and everything that I was saying. I was literally doing it while I was leasing homes, right? I'm paying a mortgage. It just wasn't mine, And so my thing is, if you set yourself up to succeed, if you want to be in a home, don't be afraid to be in a home. I feel like I actually have home anniversary parties every time I hit a year in my home, because I'm so excited that I took that plunge and I did it for myself. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. After I did it, I was like, I should have done this a long time ago. Why did it take me this long to do it? But I want to tell single mothers that it's possible to start planning. Write your vision, make it plain. And in order to start a vision, you have to start by first writing it, making it what you want it. And number one, let's hit number one. Once number two is done, hit it. Just make sure you're understanding the process. So again, as my client, I give you those steps. I give you those steps to make it very, very clear of what you need to do in order to hit those goals, hit those steps that you need in order to become a homeowner. But it is so possible. It's possible. If you're paying a lease, you can pay a mortgage.
Absolutely, man. I thank you so much for sharing that, because there are so many probably past clients, business contacts, people you network with, who don't necessarily have the luxury of knowing about your past and your evolution and how you've evolved to become an entrepreneur and a business owner. Larry and I like to ask all of our guests every week, when you think back to your upbringing as a young lady, were there any members of your family that were business owners and entrepreneurs? And if so, how do you feel now, looking back at it in retrospect, that they may have served as like a catalyst or an inspiration for you?
Listen, my family, we are, my mom's family, especially are cooks, right? And they forever were making some type of catering, something for, if it wasn't for a church function, it was for somebody's baby shower or anything. And so my uncle still today does catering, Affairs by Michael's. And it started the mindset of us of one, serving people.
Right.
So in order for us to be of service, we have to know how to be a serving person. That is a mental mindset that you have to have in order to succeed at being a good steward of your craft, of what you're trying to do. And so my family, my uncle, my aunts, they took pride in their food. If you ate anything that they cooked, they knew that it was going to be good and you was going to want some more when you came back. So it's the same way for me. Prep time, I don't just go to my clients cold. I'm prepping. I'm making sure that I know my client when I come in, and we're going to talk about substantial stuff when we come in. So it's my mom's brothers, sisters, and her, my grandmother. They had their own little operation going on in the house. Yeah. It wasn't anything big at that time, but they did what they needed to do, and they prepared. They made it so that it was good for the soul. We had preachers coming. through the house every Sunday trying to get a plate from the stand. Yes. And so that's the same thing. It's like when you have a client and then they love what you do, and then they have someone else, they refer someone else to you. That's because you've given them that service that I grew up on, and I wasn't in the kitchen, because I wasn't in the kitchen. I let them do it, but I had to take the orders. I had to write down the orders. So that type of organizational skills and the prep work and all that, it came from my family, no doubt about it. My mom's siblings, herself, and my grandmother, they were the foundation to that entrepreneurship, where we're leaders. We're gonna get out. We're gonna go in the thick of things and serve the community. Yeah.
You know, Joy, so I speak at Champion School of Real Estate quite often to like new agents, people that are getting into the industry, and a large amount of them actually follow the show and watch us on a weekly basis. So I want to ask a question on behalf of them, one that they ask me all the time. You know, one of the things they always say is, as I get started in this industry, what would you say is the secret sauce? What do you think the first step I need to take? Like, how do I market myself or build a relationship? Like, what is one of the very first things that you think them getting into this industry and that's going to put them on a track of success that they should do?
Is be open. Be open to learning.
Yeah.
One of the things that I had to do is give myself grace of not knowing everything. You got to make sure you are open to learning, meeting, and just collaborating with people that are going to help your building blocks to where you need to go. And so what I did was make sure that I was able to be open to the process. I didn't come in wanting to step on heads. I wanted to come in and learn. And so if you're thinking about becoming a realtor or anything like that, it's the mindset of wanting to learn, educate yourself.
Be
And not
teachable and coachable is what I like to call it.
Yeah,
it's teachable and coachable. Yep.
It's simple math. You know, we grew up on the old math, right?
That's
so
right.
old math is 2 + 2 is 4. So that's basically what it is. You know, don't come in not wanting to be open to learning and not feeling closed-minded about, you know, what you want to do. Because when I came in, I just thought about just the residential side. I didn't think of other sides. And then I meet other people and I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And they're like, yeah, come on, let's show you what this is. So just learning that's basically what I've been doing on the downside when, you know, buyers being scared to go out. I'm like, okay, well, it's time for me to take some more classes then. So it's just, I can't sit still. So that's just what I do. I want to learn. I want to educate. So that's one of the things that I would, you know, recommend or give advice to those that are thinking about this industry.
No, that's great. Now, thank you so much for sharing, because like Larry spoke of, at the real estate schools, those students, they're so excited when they enroll, and the closer they get to that final test, the anxiety starts to build up as far as how am I going to get in? How am I going to establish business? So I appreciate you so much for sharing. One of the cool things about your real estate practice and the thing that you ladies are doing over there at Peters Properties is that you guys have a focus of being out in the community, being forward facing, and being a part of the greater Houston real estate community at large. So for the members of our audience that would like to meet, greet, and interact with Ms. Joy Guidry in real time, what will be the next opportunity for members of our audience to come out and shake hands with Ms. Joy Guidry, Realtor?
Yes. So again, one of the things that we said that we were going to do this year for sure is educate. So we've been having our home buyer seminars monthly, and that's one of the first lines that you can find us is at these home buyer seminars. And our next one in May will be at the end of May. So we definitely will have that information out when the time comes and when we, you know, get our location, because we like to do it actually in a home. We like to get the feel, so they can already start getting the feels of the home ownership. And so we really expect our clients or our potential clients to come to these seminars and learn the process and walk away saying, oh, that's it, that's all. Yeah, that's it, that's all. So our next one will be at the end of May, and my IG, Facebook, and TikTok is Joy Guidry Realtor. So look me up. I'm always posting great information as well as our events that are coming up.
No, thank you so much for sharing, because there's going to be not only members of the Prime Real Estate Network audience, there's going to also be Kappas from SFA. Check out this episode.
Yes.
You know, the whole Guidry fam, go check us out. So we want to make sure everyone in the audience knows exactly how they can get in contact with you. So please keep Larry and I at the front of mind as far as any upcoming events. We would love to get involved. If you ever need some speakers at your events, we're indebted to you for sitting in with us, man. So thank you so much, Queen, for sitting in with us this week. And you have a seat with us anytime.
I appreciate you guys again for inviting me. And it was great chatting with you guys today.
Yes, indeed. Great seeing you, Joy.
Seeing you, Joy. Thank you so much.
All righty.
Hey, man, that one was a great interview, man. It always makes me feel great when we actually have fam, the home team, actually stay on the show. We've been trying to, at the end of the episodes, talk a little bit about what's going on in the greater Houston area from a real estate perspective, get some of your insights and your opinions about what's going on from a pop culture perspective. So as the official card carrying member of the Houston Texans fan club on the show, I must ask the Texas Real Estate King, how you feel about the big trade for all-pro wide receiver Stephon Diggs? Is this going to motivate the Texas Real Estate King to call the tickets office and get his season ticket game up? Is we going to live sweet life this season? So just as a Texans fan, brother, how did that big trade make you feel, bro?
You know what, man? It was a good trade, man, and I'm excited about it. I think we did a 1-year deal, so I feel like that's going to bring in Mr. Diggs, and he's going to focus on having a great season so that he can get the check that he wants the following season. And I think we got a lot of key players in mind. So, man, as long as we can keep our stable O-line in place, maybe add 1 or 2 more awesome players to our defense, or some more of them big hogs up front on that defense, man, we're going to be solid, man. Like, I am excited about it, man. We keep our key.
Hey, man, look, as somebody who had to watch his team get crushed by the Texans in the playoffs, I got to give you guys props. Y'all had a great season. Yeah. Y'all got a hot shot superstar quarterback on deck. Yes, right. So big, huge shout out to C.J. Stroud. The Buckeyes always going to represent. It's just that when I saw the trade, I thought about all of the Texans fans that I know. Yeah. And I think the Houston Texans tailgate environment on Sundays is underrated. Yeah. I think that Sunday fun day in Houston this fall going to be nuts. Yeah. So I'm glad.
It's crazy. Our Sunday fun day is amazing. It's the best in the country. Like, if you ever want to, our Sunday fun day for tailgating is number 1 in the country. I mean, for many years, people would come out tailgate and not even make their way into the game. They've just started kind of changing that and tweaking some of those regulations. But I've never been to a tailgate circus like ours.
I know. I give you a big shout out to that, because that's for real. Because if you are visiting Houston in the fall, stay till Sunday, man. Because Sunday fun day in Houston, that's right, with the brunch culture and the football culture is second to none, dude. So before we sign off this week, Larry, man, is there anything finally you want to share with the audience? What you got going on this weekend? Yeah. Will there be any opportunities for the audience to come out and interact with the Texas Real Estate King?
Not as far as I can think of, man. Here at the office, that we'll be having a buyers seminar that'll be taking place here at the office. But for the most part, follow me on IG. For those of you that are catching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Tell a friend, send it to a friend, tag a friend in the video. That'll allow us to continue to bring on amazing people and grow the vision of the Prime Real Estate Network.
Hey, man, thank you so much for sitting in, bro. Like I said, it's always a good day when we got Larry W. Brooks and the Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm Education and Training Center. So appreciate you for sitting in with us, brother. On behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, we want to thank everyone in the Prime Real Estate Network audience for tuning in this week. And until next week at this same time, please be safe and be blessed. Be blessed.